Hi, I'm Margaret and welcome to Garden School. Well, some of the apples have started to drop off the tree, so I'm wondering, is it time to pick the apples? Let's go and see. The recommended way to pick is to twist the apple and lift up, and if it releases, then it's the right time. If it doesn't, then it's not quite ready to pick. Another way to tell if your apple is ready to pick is if the seeds are nice and brown. The seeds will be green until it's mature and then they'll turn brown. So this is a mature apple ready to pick. So let's try that with one of these. You can see I still have the nylon footy on my apples, and here, we can take this one off here. Let's see if this one is ready to pick. So I'm gonna twist it and lift it. There, that came off real nicely. The size on the apples is a little bit smaller than I expected. Could be a couple reasons. You see that I thinned many of these clusters to just 2 apples instead of the 6 or 5 that were in the blossoms. But I think that might have still been too many. Next year I'm going to try and discipline myself to thin to just 1 developing fruit and see if I get bigger fruit. Also, we had a pretty hot summer, and this area in my garden is not regularly irrigated. So that might be something I want to think about as well. Let's try another apple to see if we can get another one to come off. Oh, both of these came off real nicely. They're still in their little protective sock, which worked very nicely on these. But I want to show you something where it didn't work real nicely. So I'll be right back. I want to show you something that you don't want to do when you're picking, and this is a sign of picking an immature fruit, when the little leaves and the fruiting spur is picked off as well. Now, unfortunately, the fruiting spur is where you will get new buds for fruit next year. So when you pick and that spur comes off as well, you're just diminishing your options for next year. So we don't want to see too much of this. That's probably also a little bit on the immature side. Now, even though I covered as many apples as I could reach with the little footies in the spring, I think I may have been a little bit late because I'm seeing some evidence of some damage here. Now I'm going to open this up and we're going to see what we've got inside here. Yeah, we got a lot of damage. Well, I'm not going to use this apple. If I poked around a little bit, I might see an immature larva, although I do see an exit hole there. But all of this brown stuff, that's the frass, what the developing larva leaves, as well as that damage. Since our state has a problem with apple maggot, I am not going to compost this. I'm going to put it in a plastic bag, and it's going to go tied up, and it's going to go in my garbage. So any apples that I'm noticing with that damage from that larva, I'm just going to destroy them. Now, thankfully, it's not very many, but it does give me an indication that next year I should try to thin and cover my fruit a little bit earlier so that that fly is not out ready to lay its eggs. Another thing I'm going to do this fall is do a really thorough cleanup of the leaves underneath and any fruit that might have been missed and dropped. So I think now is a good time to think about the things you might want to do differently next year for your apples. I'm going to thin more effectively, and I'm going to cover with the little socks earlier. But right now, I'm going to enjoy these apples. They're so good. There's always more to learn in the garden. Bye-bye.